Oops. Hi, good afternoon. This is Amora Bonet coming to you from my first attempt at going live myself, but I've had this thought that's been returning to my mind all afternoon, and I wanted to jump on real quick and share a very special teaching that I received many years ago from a great master teacher of who I received a lot of teachings from the non-physical. And it was a one particular day where I had been with someone that had said some comments to me that were very upsetting, and my feelings at the time were very hurt. So I was home at night, and I began talking to this spiritual master who we'd have conversations, all the time. And I was explaining what went on, and I was in tears, and I was really wanting some answers on how to move through this very difficult time. I didn't want to stay in that energy. I wanted to move through it, but didn't quite know how because I was so upset in my emotional body. So I explained myself, and I can feel the energy that this great master just listened. And then when I was done explaining, he said, "So what?" And that was not what I wanted to hear at the time. When he said, "So what?" I said, I became even more upset. I'm like, "What do you mean, so what? This person did this and this and this and this and this and this." And then I started rattling off again. So he said, "So what?" And I said, "I don't understand." He said, "I'll be back." And he left. And he left me to cry some more and to be really upset and really stew in my own emotions. And it was several hours later he returned. And when he returned, I heard the voice in my mind. And he said very, very gently, he said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Am I ready?" And he said, "Yes. Are you ready to listen?" And I said, "Yes, I'm ready." I had already gone through hours of torment. So I said, "I'm ready." So he said, "Okay, so what?" So I said, "Yeah, but," and I started to explain again. And he said, "Yes, and so what?" He said, "When you step into the so what, you release that energy and you let it go. You cannot change the words or actions of someone else, but you can manage your energy. When you say so what, you understand that what is being done or what is being said is not expressing the truth of our nature, the truth of that which we are, who we are. We are divine beings of love. We are not hurtful actions, and many people will say, well, you know, people who are hurtful in their actions are because they've been hurt. So it's the hurt coming out of them. And from a psychological perspective, yes. But from the spiritual perspective, it's the illusion. It's not who we are. It's bad behavior, poor form. We could call it poor form, but it's not who we are. And when we're wanting to grow and expand our consciousness, we're wanting to step into a reality that is more love based and not of a lower frequency. We want to rise up, we want to ascend. In order to do that, we have to let go of the lower frequency. When we are upset about something that someone has done or something someone said or what's going on in our world at this moment, we then join in with that frequency. We're right on that level, right in that playing field. We haven't gone beyond it. In order to bring about a different reality, we must individually rise up. We must see a higher reality. We must choose to play on the higher field. So then, this individual who at that time hurt my feelings so much When I say, so what, when I was able to bring myself to the point to release her from what had happened and say that was not the truth of her being that spoke to me. And I choose to see the truth of her being. Whether or not she's able to at the moment doesn't matter. But I choose the higher road. I choose to see the true nature. And I say, okay, if this is the way this individual wants to behave, then I choose not to be in their presence. Choosing not to be in someone's presence does not equate to that I don't like you, I don't love you, you're a nasty person, I don't want to be around you. It simply means that the energy, the frequency of which is being emitted at that time by that individual is something I'm making a choice, a conscious decision not to participate in. I'm choosing to hold them to a higher perspective. I'm choosing to meet them once they rise up and not play in the field of the lower energies. So when things happen to us and we get very upset, or we're looking out at the world and go, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming, the things that are going on, I challenge you to stop for a moment, to close your eyes, to take in a nice deep breath, and to just let yourself feel the energy of so what? So what? Let it be. It's not the true nature of that which you are. It's not the true nature of all of creation. It is that which we're viewing at the time, which is the lesser field, the lesser energy. It's a fear based collective expression of consciousness going on in this world. Or when we're doing something, when we're experiencing something that is unkind, that is lacking in gratitude, lacking in empathy, that is lacking in compassion. Those are not expressions of that who we are. Those are expressions of that which we tell ourselves we may be, the story of who we are, who another person is. When we're stating something about somebody else, we have to realize that that's never describing them. It's describing our perception of them. End of story. And I get some arguments back and pushback on that from people going, "No, I know who that person is." Really? If you did, you would be able to go, "So what?" Because you know that that person in truth is love. They may not be behaving in a loving way, but you'd know who they are. If you believe them to be anything outside of that, you're believing in the story. So yeah, there's things going on in this world. There's horrific things going on and actions taken by people who are very unaware of the true nature of their being. But if we get into the mud with them, we cannot help ourselves nor anything else in our reality. We are all connected together always. There is no way of separating us from the bad or the good or in any term of description that we could possibly think of. We cannot be separated. Only in our mind separates. But in the truth, the reality is we cannot be separated. So say there's a part of this expression of that which I am that's choosing to behave in such an abhorrent manner that, yeah, all I can do is choose the higher reality so that that puts that energy out into the field. And the more of us that choose that, the more energy is available for others to begin to awaken, to begin to stop and go, wait a minute, there's another choice. I don't have to behave this way. I can choose differently. So for someone that's, if we take an action, that's someone that's doing something hurtful with their words, and we choose in the moment to say, oh, so what? Oh, well, that's the way you feel. That's very interesting. That's your perception. I don't share that perception with you, but that's yours. You're entitled to it, and that's fine. And then you walk away, and you've left that person, you've dropped at their feet the opportunity to choose differently. Yeah, they can see their perception and only their perception, and you're wrong and they're right, and that's fine for the moment. But you still left that energy with them, knowing that there is another option, there is another choice. We can choose to see differently. And it's okay that we don't share our perception. It's okay that I see something one way and you see it another way. When we come together and we're able to discuss what we see, and we're able to listen to one another, and we're able to make a connection, not in our mind, but in our heart. We allow for the expression of love to come forth. Then we begin to change this world of which we are experiencing. Our reality shifts. We start living in a higher vibrational field. We shift our reality. We rise up. And as we do that, the energy all around us is imprinted with that. So let us, this beautiful day, consider choosing so what and put it into action in our life and take note of the experiences you begin to have, how the energy begins to shift, how you become less anxious, less fearful, and experience more peace and a release and an uplifting vibration into a beautiful world. Let us focus our time and energy on the world we choose to live in and not on that which we see with our physical eyes, but that which we choose with our heart. Let us welcome into our experience the higher realities. May we do that in each and every breath. Thank you for joining me in this brief discussion. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Mm. And when I figure out how to turn this off, Hi, I think that I am recording, actual recording. Okay, am I recording? I think I'm recording. Um, no, I guess I'm not. This is what happened when you lose your producer. Um, Let me see. Actual recording, record. Okay. I am recording now. I am live now. Good, good, good. I just went through this whole lesson and realized that I was not recording. I'm new to this, doing it myself. So bear with me. My name is Amora Bonet, and I'm choosing to jump onto this live stream today to share a lesson that I received many, many years ago from a great spiritual master. And I it keeps coming into my mind today, and I'm thinking about the times of which we are living in. And many people ask me in my sessions that I do with them, how can I rise up? How can I increase my frequency? What can I do to help in this situation that we're living in today? And the greatest thing that we can do is learn how to manage our own energy. We are always looking out into the world and we want to make changes and we want things to be more peaceful and more loving, and that we are more authentic and open and sharing, and that would be great if we were all at that level of consciousness at this time. But we're a variety on this planet. There are so many different levels of conscious awareness of which we are existing within. We are all from one source. We are all connected. We are all impacting one another, no matter where we are on this planet. We are all experiencing the energy that we are holding, and that's in the collective consciousness, in whatever way attunes to us based on our frequency, based on where we are in our consciousness, based on where we are in our spiritual development, whether or not we've awakened to the true nature of our being, or whether or not we are just going through our daily rounds trying to survive in a very a lower frequency survival based energy. It's right where we are. It's our own unique expression of the consciousness of that which we are having an experience here in this world. But when we look at what's going on in the world, there's a lot of things that cause us great upset. There's travesties going on. There's horrific things going on, the way we're treating one another. And when we're treating one another in a way that is unkind, unloving, that is totally against the nature of our being, which is love, which is light, when we're doing that, we are said to be, unconscious, unaware. We're said to be sleeping to the nature of our being. And that's when we hold the human consciousness. There's other consciousnesses on this planet that are very much hold a different frequency and very much in a power of control, and that's a totally another video. But when we are within our human consciousness and we want to experience the best life that we can possibly experience, and we want to help one another, and we want to reach out and make changes in this world, the one way that we can do it, one of the ways in which we can do it, is learning how to manage our own energy. And this lesson that I'm speaking about comes from a time period of which I was receiving a lot of teaching directly from a great master teacher in the non-physical, to the point where we've had conversations all the time. And when I wanted to have more understanding of what was happening in my life and in my world and how I can open up and to a higher level of it, my spiritual nature, I received instruction for how to go about that. So this was one particular day. I had a bad day. I had a run in with somebody who was very aggressive and very hurtful in some of the things that they had said and done towards me. And I didn't know how to deal with that energy. Being very sensitive, highly, highly empathic, it just knocked me for a loop. And I was so upset. So upset, not understanding how someone could be so hurtful. So it's upset being, what did I do wrong that brought this to me? So upset that, and the list goes on and on and on. And I explained myself to this master, And he listened and then said, "So what?" And that was not what I wanted to hear nor needed to hear at that time, so I believed. I said, "So what? What do you mean, so what? This person, they did this, 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 and this. How could they do this? How do I forgive them?" And it's like, "No, so what?" And I started to cry again. And his message to me was, "I'll be back when you're ready." And he left, meaning that I didn't hear his voice in my mind and I was left alone in the room. So I continued to stew in this upsetness for hours. I mean, I was in tears. I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to what could I do better? And all these things were going through my mind. And then I was finally exhausted from it and I stopped crying and I heard in my mind, "Are you ready to listen?" So I said, "Yes, I'm ready." And then I heard, "The answer to this is so what?" And I said, "So what?" He says, "So what? It doesn't matter. All that this person said, all that this person has, what you feel they've done, it doesn't matter. Just say, so what? It lets it go. It lets that energy go. So what?" The true nature of that person didn't harm me. And the true nature of that which I am didn't receive that. The part that received it was the personality me, the ego sense of me, and not my heart. It hit my mind in how could you be so aggressive? How could you be so hurtful? But I didn't stop for a moment and go, oh, love only knows love. And if I choose to be love in the world, then I choose to live in that frequency. And I choose to see that frequency in all around me and not the behavior that was hurtful or harmful. That doesn't mean for one moment that it didn't exist, it did. But I choose not to take it on and hold it as a reality. I choose to let it be an expression of energy that was outside of love. And I just let it be. And I just let that be. And I allow that person to express in that way. And then I could choose in moving forward as saying, so what, to allow that person to be who they are and who they're choosing to be in the moment, and myself to be who I choose to be. And I chose not to be around that individual for a while. Now, when we choose in life not to be around someone who's been hurtful, or who's aggressive in energy, or whose energy we just know is not is unkind, ungrateful, abusive, we make a choice to say, no, I don't choose to play in that field. And that's not the field of love. I choose the field of love. And I choose to see that person as love and not all of which they are participating within. But I choose to see them as the love of which they are. Whether they see it or not does not matter to me. I know who they are when I know who I am. I am that love. So I'm choosing the expression of that love. And this is for each and every one of us as we choose to be the higher frequency. We choose to step into the expression of love and say, so what? And there's a lot going on in our world. And if we truly want to be of a positive impact, we must step into love. If we are engaging in the energy of which is hurtful, of which is participating in the ungodly acts that are going on in this world, then we are on that level. We have brought ourselves to that level. And then we're unable to experience love. We're unable to experience the freedom where we are then all bound in that energy of fear, of aggression, of hatred, of separation, all the lower frequency energies. We must make a choice to rise up. We want to rise up and stand in the higher frequency. We want to choose love. And one way to do that is by saying, so what? So what allows me to be free, allows me to rise up. Rising up then allows for the expression of consciousness at a higher frequency in the field of love, choosing to see an image in the mind and feel in the body the world of which I choose to live in, not the mess that may be playing out all around me, but the world of which I choose to live in. And I choose to bring that into my reality. And each and every one of us has this ability inside of us. And it's for each and every one of us to open up to when we're ready to and begin to live in this way so that we can rise up and not be held down by this illusion of separation, that we're separate and we're divided. We are not separate nor divided. We can never be. We were created from one source as individual aspects of the source, individuated aspects of consciousness, of God, of universal intelligence, of beauty, of love, of all that is good. That is what we are at our core. That's our true nature. We have forgotten our nature, and we are now given this unprecedented opportunity here at this time, in this expression of life on this planet, to begin to awaken further to the understanding of the true nature of that which we are by seeing in our view that which we are not. We are not that. And when we are holding a view of ourselves, if we're identifying as a certain way and we want other people to see us as we are choosing to be seen, and they're not doing that because they're not of that consciousness at the moment, and we're getting angry and frustrated and we're striking out against others, we are also just as unaccepting and in that same energy frequency that we think we're fighting against. We're in a state of confusion. We're in a state of aggression and anger. What we want to do is we want to rise up. We want to learn to accept ourselves, however we choose to be, and release ourselves from having someone validate that which we are. We must self validate, self evaluate. We must come home to ourselves when we realize that that which we choose is what is important, not what someone else chooses, but what we choose. Now we are coming up in frequency. Now we are learning more about the true nature of our being. Now we can step into the so what. I know who I am. I am love, and I choose to express in a loving way. So I choose to allow you to have a different opinion than I of what I am experiencing in the moment. I say to you, it's very interesting that you feel the way you do. I don't share your view, but it's very interesting. And it's another view, isn't it? Where is it written that there's only one view? We get to choose continuously. Life is a series of unending choices. And when we choose and we step into a choice, we experience life in that energy, in that flow, in that manner. And if we're not liking our experience, then we say, okay, I don't like this. Well, what can I do? I can choose something else. I can choose anew. And we get to choose ourselves over and over and over again. We get to choose anew in each and every moment. We just forgot that. We forgot that. And we believe that we are a belief that we hold about ourselves. We are not that. We are not the belief that we hold about ourselves. We are love, unconditional. We are love so pure. But we have forgotten that. We've been tainted. We've been tainted by the worlds of which we've lived within. We're tainted by the beliefs that we've subscribed to from our culture, from our upbringing, from whatever it may be. It matters not. It really doesn't. When we choose to see through new eyes and hear through new ears, we live a totally different life. So we have that opportunity now. So I say to you, you can turn on the news and you can see all the horrors of the world, or you can turn it off and begin to see the beauty. Begin to see the beauty of that which you are. Start right there. Start right with you. And then once you're feeling more secure in you and you see the beauty in you, you will see the beauty in your family. You will see the beauty in your friends. You will see the beauty in your neighbors. And you will begin to see the beauty that's outside your front door. You'll see the beauty in the world because that's where you'll be concentrating on the beauty and not on the ugliness. The ugliness must be there in order for us to realize that that's not our choice. So I challenge you this day to open up, to step into, to play with, even play with, because if it's a far stretch to say, so what, when somebody has done something that is so hurtful to you, say, okay, I'm just going to play with it. I'm just going to play with so what. Because maybe I don't fully believe I can do this. Maybe I don't believe it's right to do, but I'm just going to play with it. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to say, so what? So what? And I'm going to breathe it in. So what? They did what they did, but so what? I choose to see the beauty. I choose to see the good inside of them, even if they cannot see it themselves. I choose it. And because I choose it, therefore it is. I get to choose it. I have that power inside of me. I am one with that which created me, as we all are. But I'm choosing to be aware of what that means to me in my level of consciousness expressing here and now in this world. And as we do this, each of us individually, when we're ready, we open up and choose. Some of us are choosing even greater acts, and some of us are choosing the lesser acts. Wherever we're at is where we're at, and we only have our next breath right in the moment to make the next choice. So I challenge you, step into so what if you're ready, and it'll change your world. Thank you for playing with me this day. Enjoy the beauty of the world. I appreciate the beauty of you. And love and oneness always. I am Aumara.